Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show, Red Pill Edition. My name is Leon Jones, and in this segment, I want to talk about higher education. And I'm not talking about high school, I want to talk about college. So, the title of this evening's video is college worth the time and money? Is going to college worth the time and money? Now, as you know, there's a lot of talk going on about college. I heard Joe Biden yesterday talking about community college should be free and some state universities should be free. He also had a person that asked him a question regarding the guaranteed student loans, whether she could basically ask for a loan reduction. He said no. Now, I believe he said no because she may have gone to a private institution like a Harvard or a Yale. Now, me, I've gone to a number of state institutions. And most of us, when we went to college, we had to get financial aid and guaranteed student loans. Now, with all that being said, are you really getting an education from a college? Now, that answer is a debatable answer because when it comes to real intelligence, I measure it from two aspects. Number one, to be intelligent is being able to apply your education to the real world. And number two, you must be able to solve complex problems that the average everyday person cannot solve. Why? Because the average everyday person doesn't have the skills of mathematics, science, English, or history to solve the complex problems. But nevertheless, that still does not make college worth the time and money for prospective students to attend. Now, overall, before I get more into this video, I am not knocking college. I went to college. College is a tool. It's a minimum to show an employer that you can be trained. You can go through a curriculum. The problem with college is a number of the majors, and this is not gender specific because you have men going into easy majors just like women, and you have some women going over to the harder majors. In fact, civil engineering has a number of women applicants, industrial engineering, mechanical engineering. But when it comes to college being worth the time and the money, the absolute answer is up to the individual. Now, I believe college is a cesspool for indoctrination because when I hear particularly Brother Kevin Samuels speak to women on his show, they went to college and they come from a mindset of feminism. They all run from the same playbook. And when it comes to feminist teachings from college, it's nothing but a bunch of delusion because he would ask a young lady on his show, can you do what men can do? Or do you think you can do what a man can do? A direct question. A number of the women on his show will tell you what they can do, but they haven't done it. Now, that's an example. And there are men out there as well who can't do certain things, particularly science, technology, engineering, and math. Now, again, education can come in different forms. Now, if you ask me my personal opinion of what would be good, particularly for men today, I'd say go back into the trades. And the reason why I say trades are good, it's because with trades, they cannot be outsourced. I mean, you have different trades inside of construction, HVAC, sheet metal. You can be an electrician. You can be an electromechanical technician. Automotive is another good trade, being a plumber. Now, with society, particularly from my generation, Gen X, they really drove it into our heads that we had to go to college. And when you came out of college, you would get a job wearing a suit and tie. And the Generation X generation looked down on the trades. Now, my father, Leon Edward Jones Sr., worked at Bethlehem Steel in Sparrows Point. Now, if you could get a job at the steel mill then, you had opportunities to move up and move around and get good retirement. In fact, a number of my uncles and my grandfather, they did trades. But now, if you look at trades today, you have automation. You need some type of schooling to learn how to operate programmable logic controllers, programming from Python and C, programming using Visual Basic. But when it comes to overall college, it just depends on certain majors. Now, I went into STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And if you want to know more about STEM, you can come to my other channel, the Mind of STEM channel, because on that channel, I give you a daily dose of science, technology, and engineering and math. And on that channel, I tell you what you need to get through STEM education. And I give you information on licensing. I give you the types of STEM jobs. Here today, I'm just giving you an overview on how I see college. Now, college is very expensive today. College, again, has a lot of worthless majors. You have students right now who are in debt. They cannot find jobs. They're moving back home with their parents. Does that mean they're stupid? Some of them are. You see, when it comes to college, many of us who have gone to college have this idea in our head that we're better than individuals who didn't go to college. College does not teach common sense. College, unless you get involved in internships and leadership programs, college doesn't teach you how the real world actually works. What you get from a college education, particularly the test, you're basically getting some professor giving you information by way of a test, and you regurgitate it. And your grade is based on what you can give back to the professor. Now, of course, if you're going to go for your higher degrees, like your master's and your PhD, it's a lot more research. But still, the research is nothing but theory. I always believe a college degree is something that should be used in certain fields like education, because you need your teachers. And education, you need a license to be a teacher. Accounting, engineering, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be an engineer. Those fields require education because you need to build on that education to take your certification exams. Now, courses like religious studies, women's studies, LBTQ, or whatever the alphabet is, those are useless studies. African American studies, they're useless studies. They're useless degrees. Certainly, you can utilize those degrees to go on and be a professor if there are slots available. But see, those types of degrees turn people into social justice warriors. And politically, those are the types of degrees that create a lot of Marxists from college, a lot of left-wingers, a lot of your feminists. These degrees do not make students smart. These degrees tell students how bad America is. These degrees tell you that if you vote Republican is bad. They give students an upside down view of the world. And students will not find jobs unless they become journalists. And journalism, in my humble opinion, is more than activism for the left. But overall, I will say this about college. If you invest your time and you invest your money and you get into a field that's marketable, college is not a waste of time. Now, what I tell anybody when it comes to college, if that's what they want to do, start off at the community college level, because the community college level is cheaper. And if you get transferable degrees, like I'm in Indiana, and I'll give you an example of a transferable degree. Mechanical engineering technology. It's in the transfer systematic program. Now, what I mean by that, you go to Ivy Tech for 2 years, get an AS degree in mechanical engineering technology, and you can transfer to a Purdue, an Indiana State, a Notre Dame, a Ball State, and I'm just giving you names of Indiana colleges since I live here in Indiana. Well, when you go to those 4-year institutions, you save half the cost, and you go into those 4-year institutions from a 2-year institution as a junior. And from there, you should start positioning yourself to go for internships, because one thing that a number of individuals aren't doing in certain fields is taking advantage of marketing themselves. And the way you market yourself is you must use internships. I mean, getting valedictorian, getting in the honor society, that's good. But overall, an employer is going to look at, can you do the job? Now, here's another problem I have with college. College does not teach you about entrepreneurship. College teaches you how to go and work for a company to make that company rich. Now, there's some people who want to do that. But overall, do you want to take what you learn in school and work for somebody until you basically die? You get a small retirement, because a number of people who are retiring, they're using that retirement to take care of their grown children and their grandchildren who are still living at home. They're not able to retire. And see, that's another thing about college. Again, like I said, when you go to school for a major that's not marketable, you end up moving back home with your parents, and your parents can't enjoy their lives because they're busy housing you. And in if you have children, they're housing their children's children, and it becomes a big fiasco. Now, again, I'm giving you an overview. But when it comes to college, going to college, it just depends on what you are majoring in. Now, again, Generation X, our parents put it out to us that you had to go to college. Now, some ways to get college credits that can get a degree faster for you is go to the military. The Air Force has its own community college, and it is accredited. It's known as the Community College of the Air Force. And if you make rank in certain fields, you get college credits. Because I got 48 to 50 college credits when I was in the United States Navy. Now, when it comes to college, many students or prospective students are forced to go to college via way of their parents because their parents are paying the bill. Now, as a student, you should not go to college for your parents. You need to go to college for yourself. A number of us end up going to college, and this is where you have to be very careful. You end up changing your major several times. I know I did. And in college, you're going to have some professors that are going to have weed out courses. You're going to have some professors that are not very diverse when it comes to ideas. Again, if you are in the social science department in college and you're taking women's studies, lesbian, gay, transgender, bisexual, and queer studies, African American studies, or any other ethnic racial studies, there's going to be an element of hate America, white man is bad. You're going to go through all that. And when you're over there in social science, that's where the Marxist, the feminist thinking arises. And when you have conversations with a number of individuals who really don't question their professors, but they take what their professors say from the social science department, they then come out in the real world and try to have a conversation. And these are individuals you cannot talk with because they're so inclined into believing what their professors say from the social science department. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't get a degree in those fields, but those degrees are not marketable. If you get a degree, get in something that you are going to enjoy, but you must understand when it comes to the real world, it's about making money. It's not about your valedictorian. It's not about you being in an honor society. But when it comes to true knowledge, you have to keep up with the knowledge because, number one, technology changes. Number two, cultures change. And number three, when it comes to politics, administrations change. Now we're in a Biden administration. And what I'm looking at from the Biden administration is everything is going backwards. And Biden has a number of individuals who are in his administration who went to school, they got degrees, but they're not very bright. When you talk to any of these individuals about energy, they don't care about the XL pipeline. They don't care about coal energy. But yet these individuals come out of academia and they don't look at what their policies are causing. They're causing oppression. Now, again, this is not about Biden. This is about individuals who have gone to college. They've gotten an academic degree in certain fields, and now they believe that they are experts in the field of energy, in which they're not. When it comes to energy, you have to understand thermodynamics. You have to understand heat and transfer. You have to understand things that move, known as dynamics. Things that are stationary, that's known as statics. But most of all, going back to what I said about college, college is only a waste of time if you don't major in marketable subjects. Now, it may have sounded like I contradicted myself by saying early you should go into something that you like. That's true. Something that you like does not necessarily mean, however, it is marketable. And one thing I will tell you about college as well, college does not teach you about the market. And see, again, to be educated, you have to be able to look information up yourself, and you can't take everything that a professor says. And right now, I do look at college as an institution of indoctrination in some fields. College is expensive. This is why a number of individuals want loan forgiveness. That's what I wanted to say. Joe Biden is not going to forgive people's guaranteed student loans. That's not his job to forgive people's guaranteed student loans. Number two, you're not going to get free college. Why should I pay for somebody else's college when I pay for my own college? Again, from a biased perspective, if you're going to go to college and you want a bang for your buck, start out at a community college and then go to a 4-year college and major in STEM. I know STEM is very difficult. Again, if you want to know more about STEM, what you need to do is check out my Mind of STEM channel, because on that channel, I give you a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. And on that channel, I give you the blueprint on how to get through a STEM education. But in the long run, when it comes to college, college is something that is a big investment. And if you don't invest right in college, you're going to end up with a lot of debt. And right now, there's students out here who cannot find jobs. There's students out here who are marching with Antifa. There's students out here who are out there marching with Antifa. A number of them don't have anything going for themselves, but in the end, college is something that has not given those individuals a true education. It's given them an indoctrination of what the world should be in their minds. You have a lot of Marxist professors that are teaching Marxism. They're anti-American. These professors, they've been in academia all their lives, and these professors don't understand the real world. And again, a true education from my perspective is, can you take that information that you learn in college and apply it to the real world, and can you solve complex problems? Again, Generation X, and that's where I'm from, we put so much notion into going to college, we forget that there are trades out there. Because the mothers and fathers who were baby boomers didn't want us to get the labor-intensive jobs that they had, so they thought a college degree was going to do us well. It has done some well, but in the end, you still need your trades. in the end, it still takes common sense. It still takes comprehension skills, mathematics. It takes the basics that you learn from K through 12 to get to college. You have a number of individuals who are in college and they don't know their head from their ass. It's because they were pushed through. But education in this country, in my humble opinion, is going down. And college is a big racket. But again, if you choose to go to college, you need to know what you are majoring in. And you need to look at the future of the prospects within your major. Now, again, if you major in social science subjects like LGBTQ studies, women's studies, African American studies, Chinese studies, well, you're setting yourself up for failure unless you're going to go all the way to the top and get a PhD. And when you get a PhD, where are you going to be working? You're going to be working off the taxpayers' money at some college with a doctor's degree. Not saying that a doctor's degree isn't great, but when you go in those social science subjects and you start teaching students, you're not teaching students the right way to think. You're teaching students from a left-wing perspective. I know I had some courses like that. I had a sociology class like that. I had a psychology class like that. We all had to take that, and students couldn't challenge the professors because their grades would be affected. And if you look at it now, you have a lot of students out here who have gone to college and they're not smart. So again, you don't necessarily have to go to college to earn high dollars. Go to the military, learn a trade. But in the end, I want you all to understand that I am not knocking college. If I was knocking college, I would be contradicting myself because I went to college. But I am a civil engineer. I had to go to college. What I do is design and inspect infrastructure like roads, buildings, tunnels, dams. I work on a lot of construction projects. But my education was needed because I have to eventually get a license so I can sign off on plans. Going to school for accounting. You have to get a CPA. And in order to have your own firm as a civil engineer or a doctor or an architect, you got to be licensed. But you need college for those subjects because all of your college courses that you take for architecture, engineering, accounting, they're going to be on your CPA, they're going to be on your PE exam. So you have to know that information. But when it comes to social science and English, yes, we should know how to write. We should have some diversity of other cultures. However, we need to understand that college is supposed to be a place where you can utilize diversity of thought, not left-wing thought. Again, if you're going to college and you come out talking like a communist or Marxist and you majored in something that wasn't marketable, you wasted your time, you wasted your energy, you wasted your money. So overall, I'm going to sum this video up. College is a waste of time and money if you major in something that's not going to be marketable. But you have to know the paths to get to college. You have to know how to get through college. And again, the path to get to college, start off on a community college level where the price is much cheaper, and then go to a 4-year institution. Study your math and science, because in the end, an education comes from what you learn and what you apply to the real world. And a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 401 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. If you like what I just presented, please comment, share, and subscribe. Please like the videos. Please share my videos. And also check out the Mind of STEM channel. On that channel, I'm going to give you a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. And I'm going to show you how to navigate through college via STEM and how to get licenses and be an entrepreneur through STEM. You can check out my Blog Talk Radio show as well, 215-383-5785. And if you can't find me on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio, simply check me out on Twitter, MeWe, and Parler. So at the end of the day, I'm going to leave you with this. Be blessed for what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Always know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And again, before I conclude, I just want you all to know that a true education is what you get from applying the principles that you learn from college to the real world and being able to solve complex problems that your average Joe cannot solve. Because like I said, college is a good institution if you go in to the right major. If you go into the wrong major, you're wasting time and money, because college is a big investment. And don't let anybody talk you into going into a major that is not for you. Once again, I thank you for listening to this edition of the 401 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. I want you all to have a wonderful and blessed evening. God bless you. I'm out.